Hello friends, we're here for another episode of the Good Vibe Show with me, Vivek Atray. And this is an extremely special interaction we're going to have with Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, better known as General Tiny Dhillon. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Vivek. How are you?
Very well, sir. So you were so inspiring. I want to start with an anecdote. And one of the anecdotes which is well known is the press conference that you conducted, and you were in charge of the operation. You were in Kashmir. It is well known, but I want you to give a little bit of detail. And the question came to you कि वो जो गाजी आया था उसका क्या हुआ, तो आपका क्या जवाब था?
Thank you, Vivek, and good day to all the viewers. This press conference happened on 19th of February 2019. And this was after Pulwama incident of 14th February 2019. I had taken over the Corps Commander charge on 10th of February. 14th February Pulwama happened. And it became a big news. Naturally, it was a very big incident. And we lost 40 CRPF bravehearts. So the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Pakistan-based terrorist organization which had carried out this incident, their person who was in charge of this was a Pakistani terrorist called Kamran. His real name was Kamran, but his code name was Gaazi. And Gaazi is a very preferred code name by any Pakistani terrorist. Because of my tenures in Kashmir since 1988, 6-7 of them, we had killed many Pakistani terrorists earlier whose code name was Gaazi. And this terrorist also happened to be with the code name Gaazi. And the local media from 14th of February, when the incident happened, till this press conference happened, local media had gone berserk over Gaazi has carried out this attack, Gaazi did the ID blast, Gaazi attacked India. And Pakistani trolls started, trolling Indians and India as to how is the Jaish? Based on that English Hindi movie,
how is the Josh?
They started asking the question on social media, how is the Jaish? We killed this module who had carried out the Pulwama blast within 100 hours.
Yes, sir.
By 18th evening, we had eliminated this module, including this terrorist Gaazi. So in the press conference on 19th February, this question came which you referred to.
And your answer?
Is Gaazi dead? So I didn't want to give much credence to this terrorist. I said in a, just simple way, I said, Kitne Gaazi aaye, kitne Gaazi gaye, parwah nahi. Don't worry, we are here. So this tagline became very famous, it went viral. And this also happened to be the title of my book, Kitne Gaazi aaye, kitne Gaazi gaye.
Book ko hum baat karenge, sir, we'll celebrate that book. But I really wanted to start with this particular dialogue and you have done it. Now we go back. Your own code name is Tiny.
Yes.
How did you get that? And then we'll go to the rest of the episode.
This is a very small story. The unit I got commissioned in, the Battalion, 4th Battalion, the Rajputana Rifles, 4 Rajrif, that unit always gave a code name or a nickname to any officer who joined afresh. So when I joined, and the nickname they used to give used to be opposite of the personality of the person. So when I joined, I was 6 feet 3 inches tall. So I was nicknamed Tiny, and it didn't finish there. This name you carry with you even after retirement.
Right.
And while in service, while talking to each other on radio set or telephone, you always say Tiny for shorty, Tiny for mini, Tiny for so-and-so KV.
Yes, yes.
And this is an inherent security also.
Very good, sir. I will call you Tiny, sir, with your permission.
Absolutely.
So, sir, we go further back now. How were the childhood days? How was it growing up? Just some recollection.
Yeah, I grew up, I lost my mother early, written in my book. And then my parents were in Nepal. And at 3 years of age, I moved in with my Nani ji in Punjab.
Right.
And 2 of my mamajis, they both were officers. One was an army officer, one officer in the BSF. So I grew up in the culture of uniform.
Right.
I grew up looking at my mamajis wearing uniform every day morning. So this inherent urge to don the uniform was what I came. And then I studied in, that time they used to be called Central School. Now they're called Kendriya Vidyalayas. They're basically the army schools.
Absolutely.
Which are managed by the army. And I grew up with the class fellows who are from army background, army officer's son, army JSO sons and daughters, army Jawan sons and daughters. Until today I am friends with them. So this urge was there to join. And then, as you are aware, in the North India, especially in Punjab, army is a very, very preferred career.
Absolutely.
And it runs in the DNA of North Indians.
Even I was in central school, this KV47, and I had Chandigarh Air Force officers' children studying with me. And my father was an IPS officer, but my only reason to study in KV47 was cricket.
Oh.
Because I could not play Sikh and Naidu tournament if I went to one of the colleges for 11, 12. That time we had 11, 12 in colleges, DAV college, etc., Chandigarh. I came to KV47 because it was a school offering 11, 12. So I could play Sikh and Naidu twice. But your reasons were obviously that you were growing up in that scenario. But later, sir, you went to NDA and then your career started. NDA ke kuch baatein, sir?
Yeah, NDA also, how I joined NDA is also a story in itself. Like I told you, my father is a civil engineer.
Yeah.
And he was running a very big business when I was at that age when I was to join NDA. Since he was in Nepal, I was in Punjab. I didn't inform him. I appeared for NDA. I went for the interview. I went through the medical test and all. And then the merit list came. And then came the call letter. So that is the first time I had to inform my father because there were some signatures required of the parents or guardian or father. So I went to Nepal to tell him that I am joining the army. He said, no, you are not. And he said, no, this business is quite good. You come and join me in the business. I said, no, I don't want to be with you. I want to join the army. He won't agree. So then I came back, took my Nani ji along with me. That is his mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law ko to manna padega.
So that is the Brahmastra I used. And then she told him, there was a deal. She said, ek baar join karne do. Then you pay and you get him out.
Kya baat.
So he agreed to this deal. I also agreed. But I backstepped from this deal once I entered the gate of NDA.
Sir, somehow your personality would not have gone with business. Let me tell you, it's good for army. Yes. But sir, this evolution from being a young cadet to being the personality you are today. If we talk in a crux because it's a short show, what is it that made you stand out?
Not only me, I will say anyone in the army. The biggest teachers are your seniors, the JCOs, the Jawans with whom you serve.
Right.
Structured training of the army, yes, there is a structured training. There are courses that teach you how to go about various forms of warfare. But unstructured training is what makes a man out of you. And that you learn sitting in an ambush with a Jawan next to you trying to tell you how to go about things. A JCO trying to teach you कि लंगर में सब्जी कैसे कटती है, सब मीट कैसे कटता है, and you learn by and by. I'll give you two small anecdotes as to how army day-to-day life teaches you things.
Right.
I was newly married, and unit teaches you the best.
Right.
I was newly married, and I was posted in Udaipur. For Rajrif, my commanding officer was then Colonel Trigunesh Mukherjee, later retired as a brigadier. And in those days, there were no fancy vehicles.
Right.
And there used to be a 1-ton, 4G 1-ton, which used to be modified a bit with cushioned seats and some blankets put on top of it for the officers and wives. And similarly, vehicles are modified for Jawan's families. So my wife had to go back to Punjab and I had to drop her at the railway station. And I was doing the adjutant. Adjutant is one who looks after the whole thing, all the administration and all. So my CO called me, says, Nita is leaving today, and take the officer 110, make sure it's in a good shape.
Right.
The responsibility to keep the officer 110 in good shape was also mine.
Okay.
Anyway, I got the officer 110 and Nita sat in it, and CO came to see her off at our home. And he found the blankets not up to the mark. The vehicle was not very tidy. So he says, Tiny, once you drop her, please come and see me in the office. Anyway, I went to the station, dropped her, came to the office. I went to the CO's office. And he says, why was the officer 1-ton not up to the mark for a lady to travel in it? I said, sir, Nita ja rahi thi, so I said, theek hai. He said, no, question is not that, who was traveling. Question is, as an adjutant, you failed to do your duty and you failed to provide a respectable vehicle to a lady. And he said, more so, it's not important for an officer. उसका हुक्म किस पे लागू होगा और कैसे लागू होगा.
That's not a choice.
He has to be above all these things. An officer should never be thinking कि मेरे हुक्म से किसको फायदा किसको नुकसान. आपका हुक्म एक पलटन के लिए, देश के लिए, आर्मी के लिए.
क्या बात.
And what a lesson that was.
What a lesson.
Was as to how an officer is supposed to behave. I'll tell you the other side of the story also. There's another anecdote. I was posted in Kashmir during Kargil war. And sitting in Srinagar transit camp, I met a young lieutenant. He was a regimental medical officer, doctor.
Okay.
Serving with 2 Rajrif. 2 Rajrif was in Kargil war. Colonel Ravindranath was the commanding officer. And Tololing was captured by 2 Rajrif, which is subsequently it was the capture of Tiger Hill. So when they went for attack, so this young officer was narrating to me a story, a young doctor who had served only for about 2 to 3 months with the army unit. He said, sir, जब capture के orders मिले, तो ये plan था कि रात को 8-9 बजे attack शुरू होगा, and by morning first light we would have captured the objective, and the hot breakfast will come to the objective along with the commanding officer and other logistics.
Okay.
And he says everyone, generally people say रात को पहाड़ चढ़ना है, पेट में दर्द हो जाएगा. So no one ate the dinner. People generally carried their dinner in the few puris in their pouch. And he said as the luck would have it, the attack continued for 3 days.
Ooh.
And there was hardly any food to eat. And then he was a doctor. And he says there was a Jawan with me. He would give me 1/4 of a puri every 2-3 hours.
I see.
And he would keep doing it to me and for next 2 days. And when the objective was captured and when we came back to the base, and he said, I called this Jawan and I asked him, कि बेटा तूने कभी नहीं खाई वो पूरी, तू हमेशा मेरे को थोड़ा थोड़ा देता रहा 2-3 दिन तक, why so? And he said, you know what the जवान का आंसर क्या था? कहता सब 100 बंदों की टोली में सिर्फ आप एक डॉक्टर हो. अगर मैं मरा तो सिर्फ मैं मरा, लेकिन अगर आपको कुछ हो गया
तो फिर तो सारे गए.
तो जितने भी जख्मी होंगे, जिनको भी गोली लगे, उनको बचाने वाला कोई नहीं.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है.
This is the commitment of a जवान of Indian Army.
Sir, the Indian Army has a culture which is so superior. जो आपने अभी बोला, it is also said कि Indians जब abroad जाते हैं तो छा जाते हैं. तो ये what is this? A very important question I want to ask you. What is it that the Indian Army, the defense services, going abroad brings out the best of the Indians, which doesn't really reflect in society normally?
See, the best part about Indian Army is our soldier. Our soldier is very hardy. He comes from a very tough background. He comes from a very tough life in the village.
Right.
He works, or his forefathers have worked with their own hands in the fields. And he doesn't shy away from hard work, and he demands nothing, if I can say that.
Right.
Our soldier will never demand कि सब मेरे को ऐसी चाहिए, because he is used to that blistering heat in Rajasthan.
Yeah.
Our soldier will never demand comfort.
Right.
Although Indian Army makes sure, and the government makes sure you provide the best of comforts.
Right.
This is where and our Indian Army soldier fights for his ijjat.
Yes.
Fights for the ijjat of his paltan. Western armies or other armies don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't have this culture, this ethos. Khandan ki ijjat, paltan ki ijjat.
बिल्कुल सही सर. तो ये एक चीज है which brings out the best in the Indian soul, the Indian nature. But your career moving forward, what were some of the key moments that you would like to talk about? What brought out the best in you? How did you develop as a person also?
Most of the time, my tenure or my career progressed the way any Fauji officer or infantry officer's career would progress. But what happened uniquely in my career was my continuous tenures in Kashmir.
I see.
My first tenure being in September 1988 to 90, and that is where Kashmiri Pandits were thrown out.
Yeah.
That is where the whole trouble started.
Yeah.
Then I had multiple tenures as a captain, major, lieutenant colonel, commanding officer, brigade commander, then again as a brigadier, and subsequently as a corps commander.
Must have had some tough situations.
Yeah, there were very tough situations. And when you are in field area, you can do your best if your family supports you wholeheartedly.
That's true.
The lady in the house, she brought up the children all on her own. There have been instances when a brigade commander asked me, in which class how many children? I said, sir, 2 children. And he said, oh, yeah. And he said, which class? And can you beat it? I didn't know the class in which my son was studying.
सर आपने एक बार बोला था कि पीटीएम में नहीं जा पाए थे, रिजल्ट पे नहीं जा पाए. The children grew up.
The children grew up because of the lady, and she has seen my death news twice on the television. Now, in spite of all these things, they are the biggest pillar of strength for any soldier. And this I'm talking within the home. Outside the home, in the society, Indian society is so grateful to us. Every time I go to the market, every time I'm traveling by train, I'm traveling by air, the respect I got just because I was a soldier. I think hats off to our Indian society, our Indian people, Indian culture, and the way they respect you.
I am getting goosebumps sitting here, sir. I'm a motivational speaker. You are on the Good Vibe show. We are getting inspired listening to each bit. What I really feel is the defense services and the army, they show excellence in every field. Every officer is, inspiring in his own way. Yet there is a uniqueness. Ab aapki jo personality, it is unique. Yet you are part of a uniformed service where culture, ethos has to be uniform. So what is it that brings out this best in the individual while being part of a system?
Thank you. Very rightly asked. This question is very important. Indian Army, we come from all spheres of life. We come from all states of India. We come from all the religions of India. We come from all the caste, creed communities of India. We come from all the educational backgrounds, the linguistic background, and the societal backgrounds. We come from all the economic backgrounds.
Yes.
Now, having said this, when an Indian Defence Forces officer meets the other Defence Forces officer, he does not ask him which state, which religion, which car you are driving, or how much of property you have. He will only ask him which course, which regiment.
Right.
That is how this amalgamation of all these people into one Indian takes place in the Defence Forces. हमारे यहाँ पे ना ये नहीं पूछते गांव कौन सा है, घर कौन सा है, धर्म कौन सा है, गाड़ी कौन सी चलाते हो, which course, which regiment.
That's it.
That is the DNA. Our DNA is, like my DNA is NDA, Alpha Squadron, 63rd Course, 4th Battalion, the Rajputana Rifles, 15th Rajrif, 15th Corps. Right?
क्या बात है सर. अभी मैंने देखा मंदिर and the Guru Granth Sahib,
Mandir, Masjid, MMG we call it.
Masjid, it's all together.
Yes.
In army, we are multi-religious. You are like that. Whereas in the country, there are forces which divide the society, but the defense services stay firm.
In the Defence Forces, we have something called Sarv Dharm Sthal.
Yes.
If it's a Baisakhi, I'll go to the Gurdwara Sahib, I'll take a matha there. After that, I'll go to the masjid, I'll go to the church, I'll go to the mandir and come back. If there's a Ram Navami, I'll go to the mandir, offer my prayers there, then go to the masjid, Gurdwara Sahib and church. And if there is any other holy place, depending on the composition of the troops, this is how it works. And in army, if I am a commanding officer of 4th Rajrif or 15th Rajrif, I am a Sikh by religion. But my Jawans are following Hindu religion.
Yeah.
I will do all those rituals. I will follow all the practices which are followed by Hindu religion. Mandir mein jab aarti hoti hai, mandir mein jab havan hota hai, as commanding officer, I am the first person to be doing it. Dharam, aapka dharam kya hai, wo nahi aata hai. For a soldier or for the officer, religion of troops is your religion.
Oh, superb, sir.
And I always say, for an army man, the religion is Indian, blood group is Indian positive.
क्या बात है सर. ऐसा मौका भी आया होगा where you were tested, धड़कनें तेज हो गई, sensitive matters. We can't talk about all of them, but maybe you can share one or two instances where, it was a very tough situation which you had to handle.
Individually, every time you come under fire, I have come under fire a number of times. Every time you come under fire, yes, there is a time lag. जब वो कहते हैं ना सुन्न हो गया, you get stunned. But with practice, with the experience and with service and with training and your confidence in your command, confidence in your body, confidence in your weapon, confidence in your commander, ये जो time lag है ना, सुन्न होने का और being stunned, that reduces. If I've come under fire now, if I'm a young soldier who is not even aware how to handle a weapon and who doesn't know who his buddy is, who doesn't know who his commander is, I might take 10 minutes to come out of the shock.
Yeah.
But when I am seasoned soldier, When I command a fire, it will take me 2 seconds to about 10 seconds to regain my composure. Because longer I take, more harm will come to my team. So it's very important for me as a commander to regain the composure, reassess the situation, reallocate the resources and hit back. Because वो बहुत जरूरी है, वो आता है training से, confidence in weapon, confidence in body, confidence in commander. And this comes with experience.
So, two larger questions. We are going superbly well. Indian society, the civil services, I am from the civil service. What is one or two things that they can take away from the army culture?
I think Indian civil services, I've worked with them, especially in Kashmir, I've worked with them hand in glove. I mean, like team, we have worked as a team security forces in civil. They're tremendous people, they're very meticulous in their work, they do. मतलब काम इतना meticulously करते हैं, लेकिन उसमें थोड़ा देर हो जाती है.
Delays.
Nitty-gritties, you can, like as a soldier, I would say it's better to take a early decision with fewer inputs,
Right.
but well-informed inputs.
Right.
Then wait for 2 months with 100% inputs, and the decision may still be not as good as the first one. Our civil services are terrific. One is this question of maybe, because of our population, the pressure is so much, the work pressure is so much, the cases they handle are so many. Maybe that is one reason. And second thing is, it's not applicable at the higher ranks of the civil bureaucracy, but at the lower ranks of the bureaucracy. आज आना, कल आना, परसों को आना, देख लेना, मैं देखूंगा, पूछूंगा, आप फाइल छोड़ जाइए, मैं करता हूँ.
नहीं, वो सर फितरत है, हायर लोअर दोनों में हो जाता है. But I will on the lighter side say that when I go shopping with my wife, so I will say ये वाला ठीक है. चीज़ें नहीं इतनी जल्दी फैसला नहीं है. थोड़ी देर अभी वो देख लेते हैं, वो देख लेते हैं, वो देख लेते हैं, वो देख. Ultimately she come to the same decision.
Absolutely.
So that is the bureaucracy. Yeah. But in this case it's personal. Another question. The youngster of India at the moment, far-flung areas, आप भी जाते हैं sir, as a speaker I also go, that college student looking forward to life, what should he or she be looking at and what qualities does he or she need in this era?
I'll give a combined answer, not only for the defense forces, also for the civil services.
Right.
When a youngster looks at Mr. Vivek Atray, a former civil servant, he is looking at a finished product. He is looking at a product which has gone through the rut, which has gone through the training, which has gone through the hierarchy and charmed into this.
Right.
ये जो हीरा है ना, ये कभी कोयला था.
बिल्कुल.
And the youngster, similarly, when he looks at a young captain, chiseled body, uniform, well cut hair, very good manners, nicely speaking English, he feels कि ये तो मैं नहीं बन सकता. ये मिस्टर विवेक आत्रे या सिविल सर्विसेज तो मैं नहीं कर सकता. ये कैप्टन साहब तो जब बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ है. But they are not understanding when they were at your age.
We were.
Everything has been chiseled, everything has been trained, everything has been mentored, everything has been developed.
Yeah.
Two qualities are a must: honesty and integrity. These two cannot be developed.
Absolutely.
English सिखाई जा सकती है, ओवरवेट हो तो बॉडी
फिटनेस कराई जा
सकती है, आपको चलना नहीं आता तो चलना सिखाया जा सकता है, बातचीत का ढंग सिखाया जा सकता है, मैनर्स, टेबल मैनर्स सिखाए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन जो चीज नहीं सिखाई जा सकती वो है ऑनेस्टी एंड इंटीग्रिटी.
क्या बात है सर, व्हाट अ ब्यूटीफुल.
इफ यू हैव दीस टू थिंग्स, यू आर अ फिट मटेरियल टू बी इन सिविल सर्विसेज और इन डिफेंस फोर्सेस.
सही बात है.
रेस्ट ऑफ थिंग्स डोंट मैटर.
फिर चाहे कोयला हो या हीरा हो, वो क्वालिटी सेम रहती है.
बिल्कुल.
हम अभी भी थोड़ा कोयला ही हैं सर, वैसे हीरे पूरे में एटलीस्ट आई कैन से. बट वन थिंग आई वांट टू नो कि सर इतना इस सक्सेस के साथ नाउ स्पेशली इन द पोस्ट retirement career where you are now open to receiving accolades, speaking in the public eye, so does it ever go to your head sir? कभी हुआ ऐसा कि spoiled feeling आ गई कभी?
I don't know. I think it would be for others to comment on that. But जो मेरे दिल में है कि भाई अगर कोई आपको पलकों पे बिठाता है ना, तो ये उसी बंदे की जिम्मेवारी है कि पलकें खोल के रखे.
अच्छा.
अगर उसने पलकें झपक दी तो आप नीचे गिरोगे. So it is the responsibility of the people who take you there to keep you there. Your responsibility is only that you be yourself. और अगर जब मैं बहुत हम्बल था, जब मैं बहुत सहनशील था, और उस वक्त पब्लिक ने या मेरे चाहने वालों ने मेरे को यहाँ ले गए, And now if it goes into my head, I'm very sure I'm not going to stay there. Because they will say, ये बंदा तो नहीं है जिसको हम यहाँ पे लेके आए थे. He has changed.
फिर धड़ाम से गिर जाता है बंदा.
And you know, you might have climbed against the gravity, you fall with the gravity. The fall is stronger and harder.
Absolutely. And now a lot of people who are retiring or in the retirement mode will also be watching this show. What advice do you have for post-retirement, sir? How do you keep the energy alive? What should they do? कई लोग मायूस हो जाते हैं.
Anyone who is changing his way of daily life, you know, चाहे आप नॉन वेजिटेरियन से वेजिटेरियन बन रहे हो, जहाँ आप अंडा खाना छोड़ रहे हो, जहाँ आप योगा करनी शुरू कर रहे हो, चाहे आप जिम जाना स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, जिम जाना बंद कर रहे हो, सिमिलरली आप यूनिफॉर्म पहन के ऑफिस जाना बंद कर रहे हो, घर में बैठ के अपना काम कर रहे हो. You are only changing a way of life, you are not changing your life.
Right.
KJS Dhillon has not changed.
Right.
Only I've started wearing a different color of clothes.
Right.
जो मेरे में जज्बा है, जो मेरे में शिद्दत है, जो मेरे में देश सेवा का भाव है, that remains. If it changes, then जहाँ वो पहले वाला फ्रॉड था, जहाँ यूनिफॉर्म छोड़ने के बाद वाला फ्रॉड है. If you change with the change in your lifestyle, then either you are a fraud then or you are a fraud now. It is important to remain grounded. It is important to remain yourself. You are the biggest asset you have. You are going to live with this you or me for the complete life. बाकी लोग आएंगे जाएंगे.
क्या बात है.
आप खुद ही आपने सबसे बड़ा जो दोस्त या मित्र या साथी वो आप खुद हो. उसको अगर आप अच्छी नज़र से ऊंची नज़र से देखते हो ना अपने आप को, जिस दिन अपनी नज़रों में गिर गए उस दिन खत्म.
सर आपकी जो पर्सनालिटी है ना, मैं देखता हूँ अब, यू मस्ट बी अट्रैक्टिंग अ लॉट ऑफ अटेंशन ऑल्सो, इंक्लूडिंग फीमेल अटेंशन. शुरू से अभी वो मिलती होगी सर, तो उसको कैसे हैंडल करते हैं आप? हाउ डू यू रिमेन लेवल एट इट?
Okay, I'll call it followers. I have a lot of followers on social media, maybe Twitter, maybe Insta, maybe Facebook, LinkedIn. And now that you said it, yes, I think every time I tweet something or I post something, out of the first 20 comments, at an average, 14, 15 are from the
female sex,
women or ladies or girls followers. And they are the biggest critics also and the biggest approvers also. They would compliment you where it is due.
Yeah.
And they don't shy away from saying, Dhillon, ये जो color है ना, ये suit नहीं करता आपको. And then, you know, I get stuck. Because मेरे को तो 3 ही रंग मालूम है. और उसमें वो turquoise blue and sea blue and deep blue and light blue and sky blue. भाई हमें तो हल्के वाला नीला और गाढ़े वाला नीला. So there, that is where once a lady commented like this, Dhillon, this color doesn't suit you. That one suits you better. I only hope this one, I don't know what green it is, but I hope this looks okay.
It looks great, sir. I don't know what green it is. एक स्टोरी आपकी बुक में है जो हम यहाँ रिपीट नहीं करेंगे, but just to highlight the book a little bit, and that is about the finger. I don't want you to say what happened because we don't want to give away. I know it is a crooked finger. I also know that a very beautiful doctor was involved in the story. तो थोड़ा सा आप उसका एक टीजर दे दीजिए स्टोरी का सर.
You know, this finger, this index finger, I fractured this finger while playing football. Fractured it so badly that this nail came here, and both these bones came out, and they're protruding out, and it was slushy. And I walked up to the fullback. Sir, I was a goalkeeper. I walked to the fullback, the senior to me. I said, "Sir, ये NDA की बात है. सर ये कुछ हो गया है." And looking at this blood and white bones and this, and he fainted. And he was taken in an ambulance, taken to the hospital, and I was left there. Then I walked up to the Devo there, Lieutenant Anil Save. I said, "Sir, ये हो गया कुछ." When he looked at it, he put me on his SD, and he took me to the MI room, NDA MI room, and from there, after the first dressing and all, they referred me to MH Kirki, where specialization is there. So the doctor on duty was one Captain Miss Bide.
So उनका फर्स्ट नेम क्या था ये मिस बेटे का?
I don't know. She was called Miss Bide only.
All right.
And she was very good looking, very nice doctor, very simple person, very nice to talk to you. And cadets के लिए ना अच्छे से कोई बात कर ले आपसे तो it's you are on the 7th heaven.
Absolutely.
And she of course was very charming. And when I went to Khirki and I was put in the OT and neighboring जहाँ पे changing room होता है doctors का, तो वहाँ पे surgeon and anesthetist So they were changing and they were discussing, I could hear. Oh, Miss Bhide ka patient aaya, Miss Bhide ka patient aaya. Now for them the high was कि Miss Bhide ka patient.
वही बहुत बड़ी बात है.
So anyway, they stitched my finger, and next day morning in the ward, the senior surgeon came. He was probably the commandant or someone. He came and he said, no, ये ठीक से नहीं जुड़ी है. So he took me back to the OT and opened it and again stitched it. By afternoon, the doctor who had done the operation in the night, he came back on a round and he says, "Arey, ये किसने कर दिया?
Oh God.
This has to be done again." No, I didn't know. I was a cadet. I was in second term NDA. So that is when a nursing assistant, a Sikh boy, Lansana Gauram Nayak, he came to me. He said, "Sir, ये ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ना खोलना जोड़ते करते रहेंगे, तुसी भज जाओ. They will keep doing this opening and stitching. You will run away from here." And believe me, I ran out of MH Kirki without discharge slip, without movement order, and came to main NDA. And the result is this finger till date remains crooked.
It's an amazing story. आपने story सुनाई थी, but readers, you must read this book if you still haven't. It's already a bestseller. और सर एक आपसे unique request है कि उसका जो cover है हम दिखाएंगे अपने show पे. Can you replicate that pose for us in front of this camera? Although you're not wearing the uniform right now, same expression and same. Can you just do it for us, sir?
See, that expression, that photograph is from the press conference of 19th February 2019. 4 days after Pulwama, we had not slept for 4 days. We were carrying out operations to eliminate this module, जिसकी मैंने बात की Gaazi. So someone asked a question, and when I was answering, he repeated or he interrupted. So I said, "Please don't." So this is where that pose got captured. Eyes were red because I had not slept for 4 days, and I was looking ferocious because I had just come back after laying a wreath on the 4 soldiers, mortal remains who had laid down their life in that operation, and I was answering questions on Pulwama and this operation. And this journalist was trying to interrupt. So that is when this came, and that's also the cover of my book.
क्या बात है सर. वो रेड आईज एंड यूनिफॉर्म तो हम रेप्लिकेट नहीं कर सकते और सामने वो जर्नलिस्ट नहीं है, बट स्टिल यू हैव द सेम ऑरा. दिस गुड वाइब शो इज अबाउट दैट ऑरा, दैट वाइब. What you say is important, but how you are is more important.
Absolutely.
And that is what really inspires me. Thank you so much, sir. It's been one of the most wonderful conversations ever.
Thank you, Vivek.
We wish you very well.
Thank you. All the very best.
Thank you,
and
sir.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
Thank
and
you.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.